know that you will get a brand new 70-inch smart UHD TV when you pay 10 million naira outright for the 500 square meter business plot in our PG estate at Baronje, Ikotun? But that's not all. You also get a fully paid dinner for two in a 5-star hotel right here in Lagos, a one-night stay in same 5-star hotel, plus complimentary breakfast. You don't believe me, right? Well, why not prove me wrong by taking me up on my offer? Call the numbers showing on your screen for further details and inquiries.
Tade Cash. Tade Cash is a world-class cash flow entrepreneur and investor, a super wealth coach, legendary closer, and an educator. Is the co-founder of more than 5 cash-rich businesses and believes that assets should be predictable, consistent, and perpetual income that funds our lifestyle. It shows individuals, companies, and nations how to unlock the hidden assets that would create perpetual, consistent, and predictable prosperity for them. He is the creator of the Short and Sell program and the Money Mastery program. He is the author of Shut Up and Collect the Money, the Money Mastery Revolution, Build Assets, Not Just a Business, as well as the Wealth Genotype. Ladies and gentlemen, join me as we welcome on stage Tade Cash.
Hi, ladies and gentlemen. It's a beautiful Sunday. I think that today is our 16th or 17th edition episode of Sunday Cashflow service. Wow, what an amazing word, and much more today. Is Happy Easter Sunday. It's what an amazing day, an Easter fiesta, enjoying life, but more importantly, the significance of today for those people that believe in it, it's the ability that your dream can be resurrected, because the power of God, the wisdom of God is now fully alive inside of you. And that is the good news. That is the good news of the Easter Sunday, that there is hope for you no matter how down you are, no matter how dark situation is, things can get resurrected in your life. Why? Because the master in the act of living has shown you how to do it. And so you can do it too. You can have an amazing life experience. And I'm so honored to have you today. It's Sunday. You're eating, did they eat meat today? They eat chicken, right? Whatever you have eaten. But most importantly, it's to know that life on its own is a gift. And if you have it, cherish it. The adventure of life is an adventure in faith. And so if you can enjoy life by being deliberate about every single moment of it, let me tell you something. There is nothing bad in getting rich quick. Get rich quick, get rich for sure, get rich stable, get rich certain. And that's what happened. Because it's all about wisdom. It's all about understanding. It's all about knowing how to change your narrative. Few days ago, somebody sent me a mail, and the guy was talking about how he read a book. He bought a book. He saw me in a program somewhere in part of Lagos, I think Jakonde precisely, and I spoke to an audience of young people, and the guy picked up the book called The Money Code on a Sunday evening. I was there with Joshua. On a Sunday evening, we went to speak. I spoke to them about the value ladder and how you can create wealth. And the guy picked up a book called The Money Code. Guess what happened? He sent me a long mail. And guess what is in the mail? By the virtue of what he was able to get from the book, The Money Code, he was able to create a program. He was able to create a system that within the space of 2 weeks, it made about 380,000 naira. That's roughly almost $1,000 in Nigerian currency, 380,000 naira. By learning what it picks here. Now he has been able to learn more about how to promote and how to write amazing things. I'm so happy. Guess what happened? You only pick up the book for 5,000 naira. You know what? If you give me 5,000 naira and I'm able to help you to create 380,000 naira, how much 5,000 naira are you going to give to me? And so that's amazing. And so Another lady also sent me a mail, and she said she picked up a book called the Close or Lose, and she was able to close a sale that she never thought she could close in her life, and she was able to earn a commission of 10% of about 3 million naira transaction. She was able to earn 10%. She picked up a book of 6,000, and she was able to make 300,000. That is value. And you see, today is another Sunday, and I'm just telling you that because it's all about that has read the book that has been able to create an asset worth almost 80 to 100 million for himself by practicing what is there. How much did he pay for it? Besides coming to my class, the real estate cash flow masterclass, he paid 250,000 and he paid 10K for the book. He's been able to create almost 100 million for himself in the space of 1.5 years. What happened? There's so much of possibility that is available for you. And today, it's about how you can reposition yourself for more in this new economy. And I can assure you one thing, the guy that is going to come today is my friend. I've known him for a couple of years now, and he's a man of a good spirit, he's a man of a good sense, and he's a man of a good system. So it's going to be wowing you today with an amazing. I don't bring people on the show that are just speakers. I bring people on the show that are doers that then speak. If you don't do, I can bring you on this show. So everyone that you find on this show is because they do things. So tonight's going to be another odd night. You need to pick your seat. Remember, it's a Sunday, it's a Resurrection Sunday, and you need to sit down there. You need to learn something that can help your economy to be resurrected. And we'll be right back. And when we are back, we're going to go into an amazing section tonight. Don't go away. Sit down, call your friends, call your families, and you can liberate your enemy, but also letting them towards the show. We'll be right back. This is Sunday Cash Flow Service. I'm Taddy Cash. Don't go away.
Do you know that you will get a brand new 70-inch smart UHD TV when you pay 10 million naira outright for the 500 square meter business plot in our PG estate at Baronje, Ikotun? But that's not all. You also get a fully paid dinner for two in a 5-star hotel right here in Lagos, a one-night stay in same 5-star hotel, plus complimentary breakfast. You don't believe me, right? Well, why not prove me wrong by taking me up on my offer? Call the numbers showing on your screen for further details and inquiries.
All right, thank you for coming back to the show today. And I can assure you, our sponsor is giving you an amazing Leave It Loud offer for the year 2022. They're simply saying, why not come buy a land in a completely built city right there in Ikotun, Lagos, or satellite town, buying an asset worth 10 million. By the way, I can tell you from first-hand experience that the property they are selling to you, the present immediate value within the community is about 18 to 20 million. So you make money when you buy. So what happened? But they say, no, that's not all. For the season that we find ourselves, they're also going to give you, guess what they're going to give to you? They're going to give you 17 inches TV, depending on the size of what you're buying. And secondly, they're also going to give you, a dinner, and for two. And then you can also have an amazing night dress in a 5-star hotel right there in Lagos, Nigeria. Come on, wow! I don't think if you don't need to be a genius to take up this offer. Come on, man! It's for you. And this is asset. You can build a rental apartment on it. You can build an amazing, it's an estate, gated, limited, reserve estate. And this will happen because you're watching the show today. How can I keep into the show? What you just need to do to keep into the show and to get a more preferential treatment because you're here and you want to take advantage. You go at the end of the show, send us a message and say, I want the property. How can I partake of it? We can always give you something behind the scene for you to be able to do that. So that's from our sponsor, Whip Africa. What number one? Freedom Lifestyle Real Estate Company. And you know what they said to set you free, to make you bigger than ever before so that you can fund your widest dream. Remember, your lifestyle needs a West style until they have come to show it to you how to get it. All right, tonight is another night. I'm looking forward to today, and it's not going to be a joke. So before we go further, I want you to be ready for this personality. This personality is not like me. This personality is different from me, but it got some good brain, it got some good sense, it got some good command of words, and it can change your life today if you give him permission to change your life. So I'm going to be introducing my friend today, and I'm going to give him on board in a few seconds, but I want you to be ready. I want you to really, really be ready. And you know what I mean? It's going to be an amazing thing. So, ladies and gentlemen, without no much ado, what's there? All right. Without no much ado, my friend, I will be bringing on board today my friend, my one and only, my friend, a great speaker, a business coach, a life coach, a professional speaker, extraordinary, no other one but Victor Haruna Francis. Ladies and gentlemen, join me today to welcome my friend, Victor. Brother, how you doing?
I'm very well. How are you too?
I'm pleasant, man. Happy Easter, brother. It's so good.
It's great to be here.
Yeah, it's so good to have you today. I'm so honored. I've been looking forward to.
You're doing an amazing work here, I must say. I went through your YouTube page. I saw all that you have done at the Cashflow Sunday service. I must confess that's a great one. Well done.
Thank you, brother. I'm so honored for that. Thank you very much. We are learning. Thank you so much. So we have you today. Thank you very much. Before I totally give you the floor, to be able to, I have my note prepared today so that I can pick your brain too. I'm not just doing this show for others. I'm also doing it for myself. Now we live in a society just like. A few minutes ago, somebody was commenting on one of my posts that you even give a very funny perspective there. You know, in a society where people think they know when they don't know, and in a society where people the proof of wisdom is fruits, and not claiming that you are wise, there are no fruit to it. It's not going to go anywhere. So, from the way you have looked at things, from the way you have seen things, what do you think that is one of the biggest limitation to a lot of people, especially on the continent of Africa, that is limiting people from creating more?
Great. So, great place to start, actually. Great place to start. I'm making reference to the continent of Africa. So, in a little bit, I have made some research. I've had interactions with Africans and Africans in the diaspora. And I have seen that one major thing that speaks for not being able to position for more, or when we talk about wealth creation, one of the things that speaks for the inability of the African continent and probably people of the African descent to make decent earnings or to move into financial freedom has been nothing but the facts that surrounds literacy. So I have seen that when knowledge is limited and when knowledge is missing, you have a whole lot that speaks to a degraded lifestyle. You have a whole lot that speaks to the inability to make a decent living when you have lack of knowledge, adequate knowledge that speaks to what brings you to the place where you can position yourself for more. So, looking around Africa, looking around the continent that we live in, and looking around the world globally, because I've had reasons to interact with people outside of here, and I've seen that one of the critical things, one of the major things that speaks to not being able to position ourselves for more and not being able to earn a decent living is actually traced to nothing but the lack of knowledge. If you allow me to speak further on this, are you still with me? Are you still with me? I can see you. I can see you again. I can only see
Yes,
myself.
yes,
Are you still with me?
yes. I'm totally with you, and you can continue.
Okay.
You can continue.
Okay, great.
Yeah, you can.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Okay, great. And in my little time of having to sit down to reminisce and to look over things and what speaks for poverty and some other things that speaks to not living our lives the way we should live them around here, being linked to lack of knowledge, I have seen so much more in my little journey. I have seen so much more, and sincerely, I would say, because this is Cash Flow Sunday, so let's talk about money a little bit before we begin to look into how you can position yourself for more. So I see that not embracing knowledge, in my entire equation of financial freedom or getting to know your way around money, I have seen two critical things that speaks to how you can become really, really free. One, knowledge, which I've mentioned, and it makes for an 100% equation to why people are living the degraded lifestyle. How or why people find it very hard to live a decent lifestyle in terms of how money comes and how money goes. And that is why it is called Cash Flow Sunday service, so that we help you to dissect the things that speaks to how cash really flows. I'll come back into that, but then let me say this to say that how do I position myself for more? So I know a lot of people will probably find that hard to think through as regards cash flow, as regards money flow, as regards financial freedom, as regards being stepping up a little bit from poverty or probably becoming prosperous. And then I would say that one of the things that speaks to that helps you to position yourself for more in this climate, in this light, is primarily one of the major things that we need to begin to look at is the ability is for you to develop an internal capacity. So when I say internal capacity, I speak to your way of coming to the table to develop mental capabilities. This would sound like around here we've had reasons to talk down on motivational speaking. We've had reasons to talk down on knowledge that speaks to psychology and philosophy and the likes of it. And then that I understand why that is coming to the table, because really people want what they can hold. People want practicalities. People want things that they can hold on to. And rather than going for what some people in other lights, rather than having to go for what they can hold on to, some people have in themselves move away from the real things. They have moved away from the things that you can hold, the things that are tangible. They have further moved into being unnecessarily spiritual about the concept that speaks to positioning yourself for more in terms of finances, in terms of the flow of cash, in terms of the flow of money and the likes of it. But you see, I say always that there is no absolute need for you to be stupidly religious when it comes to the conversation around becoming financially free. But here is how I'll play it down tonight. So the first thing that we need to do to position ourselves for more is to say that you need to develop your mental capabilities. Because I have seen that in the equation of cash flow, in the equation of money, in the equation of financial freedom, knowledge plays a critical role because people do what they know. So if you do not know, it becomes difficult for you to take some steps. And really, in this economy, it is about doers. It is not just about people who talk. They say in a part of the world in Africa that talk is cheap. So it isn't just about people who talk. It's not just about what you say. It is more about what you do. That's how results come. Results don't come by mere words. Results come by putting those words into action. That is the primary way by which you can position yourself for more. To sit down and say that what can I take in? To sit down to say that how can I develop my mental capabilities? How can I develop my mental strength such that I'm able to take on more? And you see, I say always that where you stand determines what you see, and what you see dictates where you go. Let me say that again. Where you stand determines what you see, and what you see dictates where you go. That is to say that your positioning determines what you see in terms of a vision of where you're supposed to go to. So if you're not properly positioned, if you are not properly centered, if you are not taking advantage of some vantage positions, definitely it becomes tough for you to actually even see more, to actually be able to dare more. And this life is given to those who will summon courage, those who prep themselves, those who prepare themselves, those who put themselves together and say that they will summon the courage to dare more and to do more. And I've seen that in my little journey, I have honestly seen that courage plays a critical role when it comes to stepping up our game in terms of our personal finances, in terms of our business finances, or whatsoever area of finance that we think about. Courage plays a critical role. It is not enough to know, even though knowing comes at the very base of it. It is not enough to know. It is not enough to say that you want to do, but it is more than enough to have the courage to dare some things and to do something. And that's how you get to position yourself for more. If you are fretful, if you are full of fears, and for the fact that this is the resurrection Sunday, or this is the resurrection time or season, it is more than enough to let you know that the snake that you are afraid of, the devil that you are afraid of, is already defeated. So why are you fretful? Why are you afraid? So take up and summon the courage to dare more and to do more. That's how giants become giants. That's how champions become champions. By taking up the courage, by beaming up the lights of courage to say that they would go further to daring bigger things and to doing bigger things. So let me line it up in the way that would probably be easier for people to remember. So the first thing to do to position yourself for more is to embrace knowledge, to develop your internal strength, to develop your mental capabilities, to be able to sit down and analyze problems and be able to do what is called decision analysis, to say that where next, or where else, or where is the next money coming from? To say that how can I sit down and position myself to be able to attract more into my life or into my business? So you need to develop that mental strength. You need to be able to develop that mental resilience. And the reason why I have seen that a lot of people probably fall back or fall away or fall off like pack of cards in the midst of troubles and tragedies, especially in business and their personal lives, as regards to the flow of money or things that speaks to cash flow or financial freedom, most of the time it is because people do not know enough. People do not know enough. You develop your mental capabilities by taking in more knowledge, by embracing more. So the question will be for you at this Resurrection Sunday, at the Cash Flow Money Service. The question for you would be, how so much do you know? How so much do you know? How so much has your mental faculties developed to be able to embrace more so that you can position yourself for more? It looks like sometimes some of these things sound like back in the days as well. It sounds like having done all that we know that's one is being told to do, then what next? And sincerely, I will tell you point blank tonight, it is not enough to say that you're embracing the knowledge. It is not enough to say that you're reading all the books. The question you should be asking yourself truly tonight is to say that where else do we turn to after we have embraced the knowledge? Where else do we turn to after that we have embraced the knowledge? So the reason why people say embrace knowledge, read more, study more, go for more, one of the reasons is because it is being said that abundance comes, or financial prosperity or financial success comes by the abundance of what you have built on the inside of you. So motivational speakers will say that you need to have an abundance mindset. And the question that someone will ask is, after I have developed the abundance mindset, what next? Does abundance mindset bring the money? Does money in the mind translate to money in the bank? Okay, or does knowledge in the mind, does fruitful mindset bring about the cash in the bank? So these are valid questions, and I always don't like to put people off. I always don't like to get people discouraged. I always don't like to say that this is it and you have to have it. I like to be as practical as it is. So how does the money flow in? How does the money flow in? After you've done all that you know to do, after you have embraced knowledge, and by the way, I should say this, that because you have done all that you know to do does not mean that you have done all that is to be done. I'm going to say that again. Because you have done all that you know to do does not mean that you have done all that is to be done. So if you're faced with difficulties, if you're in the midst or in the face of a fierce situation that requires a bailing out, or that requires a particular tangible solution, so you have done all that you know to do. You have phoned a friend, you have called an uncle, you have gone out for loans, you have done all sorts, you have prayed, you've gone to church, you have prayed, you have gone to the mountain, you've fasted, you've done all that you know to do, and yet the answer is not coming. It is not to say that there is no answer anywhere. It is to say that there is what to be done to get the answer. The reason why the word problem exists is because the word solution exists, or the reason why the word solution exists is because the word problem exists. So if you have done all that you know to do and you haven't seen result, it is not because there is no result. It is not because there is no solution. It is simply because you have not done the right thing to bring about the right answers for you. So take, for instance, people go for examinations. In this part of Africa, the way we study here is such that you're taught in class, and then you go further to write an examination, taking tests and the likes of it. So yeah, quite understandable that people should write examinations. But then that you have written examination, that you sat for examination, does not mean that you've got all the answers correct in the questions that speaks for the exam. So did you go for the examination? Oh yes, you went for the examination. Did you attempt the questions? Oh yes, you attempted the questions. But did you get the answers? You might not get the answers, not because you did not go for the examination, not because you did not write or attempted the questions. Sometimes it is because you have not gotten the right answers. You have not put down the right answers. So that you have done all that you know to do does not mean that you have done all that is to be done. And if I move further from there, is to say that positioning yourself for more requires that having embraced knowledge, after that you have embraced knowledge, you have known what to do, you have knew what is the next thing to do. The next thing to do is that you don't light a candle and put it under a bushel. The next thing to do is that you don't put on a light and hid it under your pillowcase. The next thing to do is to show up. And that is how to position yourself. You don't know so that you can keep to yourself. You know so that you can show. You know so that you can show up. The reason why you have skilled up is so that you can show up. The reason why you have skilled up is so that you can show up. So after you have embraced knowledge, after you have cultivated a whole the characters and the habit that speaks for success or speaks for doing well in this new economy, the next thing is to ensure that you show up. You see, it is not enough to get religious about these things. I know I'm not taking away the place of religion or the place of faith. I know that some of us are people of faith listening to me tonight or watching me tonight. I understand that quite all right. But while I'm not disputing that, while I'm not taking that away, I must say that after that you have showed up on Sunday in church to pray, after that you have gone to church to pray on Sunday, you must ensure that you show up in the business world on Monday where money is being exchanged for value. After that, let me say that very well so that it goes further down. After that, you have prayed on Sunday. After that, you have listened to the message on Sunday. After that, you have showed up in church on Sunday. When it is Monday, ensure that you show up also in the marketplace. Ensure that you show up in the place where money is being exchanged for value. That is how to practically begin to position yourself for more. Because really, positioning yourself for more implies that people must see you. When people don't see you, they don't give you. When people don't see you, there are things that they will not be free to release to you. So you need to show up. After that, your mind is become fruitful. After that, your mental capabilities have come to shape. After that, you have embraced the knowledge that you need to embrace, and show that you go to the market with the knowledge. Don't light up the candle and go to the marketplace where money is exchanged for value. That's how you need to begin to position yourself for more. Embrace knowledge and show up. And tonight, to further dig into that, because it is the cash flow Sunday service. It's a Sunday service. Yeah, for those who have the Christian faith, you understand what Sunday service means. It means that you probably go up and then show up and look very so sanctimonious, serve God, worship God, and the likes of it. But here, it is cash flow. It is cash flow. The now is becoming a word. Cash flow is becoming a word, but I will address it as a phrase that consists of just two words: cash flow. And so, because it is the cash flow Sunday service, it is important for us to know that one of the things that speaks for merging the word flow with the word cash is because money likes motion. Cash loves to move. Cash loves to move, and that speaks to being active. That speaks to activity. So money does not love to sit down. Money loves to move around. Money loves to move. Cash likes to flow. And then the thing is, so I see that in Africa, especially in the traditional setting, it is said that money flows away if you don't make use of it. The same way it was said back in the days that money grow wings, or that money does not grow on trees. Why some of these things will probably have their colloquial meanings. Or that they will have their iterative meanings or inferences. I would say also that two words also that speaks for the reason, or that we should begin to look at when we talk about cash flow. Two things that you should do to the movement of cash. Two basic things that you need to do for you to position yourself for more, or for you to gain more, or for you to move from the level that you are to a greater level of abundance, is to be able to allocate cash and to be able to control cash. Cash always wants to move. Money always wants to move because it loves motion. Money loves being active. Money does not love to be sedentary. Money wants to move. Cash wants to flow. Yeah. But you see, your ability to allocate effectively and your ability to control intelligently speaks for you making or dictating the direction of the flow of cash. When cash flows, and it does not have a direction, people tend to waste money or people tend to lose money. But when cash flow has a direction, which by default wouldn't come all by itself, it has to be by the orchestration of the person that is in possession of the cash or the money. And so you dictate the flow of money, you dictate the cash, the flow of the cash. And two basic elements for achieving that, or ingredients for achieving that, is that you're able to allocate money effectively and you are able to control money at all times. So when I say allocate and control, basically what that speaks to in some of the teachings that I've had in time past speaks to the fact that you are in charge of your money. A lot of people have money, and money flows away from them without proper allocation and without effective controlling of the money, and then money goes away. And that's why in Africa we say that he used to be rich, but this guy used to be a billionaire, he used to be a millionaire, but then he's no longer in that status, not because money has left the planet, not because money has left the world, but because he lacked the ability to allocate and the ability to control. But I just said that to bring in the cash flow sense into the service of tonight. But let's go further. Let's go further as I begin to wind down to say that. So I mentioned earlier that you must be able to show up after you have developed mental capabilities to hold money, or mental ability to embrace money, or to grow an abundance mindset. You must be able to show up so that you can be in the circumference, so that you can be in the magnetic field, so that you can be in the marketplace where money is being traded for value, where money is being released for value. And if I would say, thirdly, tonight, is to say also that you need to understand the language of the streets. If you must position yourself for more in the new economy, you must understand the language of the streets. A lot of us understand the language of the spirits. A lot of us understand the language of the spirits. But you see, poverty still bites us like anything. Lack of money still bites us like anything. And that is not to make a mockery of understanding the language of the spirit, but to say that we live in an economic planet. And so if it were possible to buy in the market by speaking in tongues, a lot of us will have bought a lot of things without releasing cash. If it were to be possible for you to buy stuffs on the streets by quoting biblical scriptures, a lot of us would probably have been buying stuffs on the street without having to release cash. But you see, you need to understand the language of the streets. You cannot be in business, you cannot position for more if after the Sunday service on Monday you do not dress up and then speak the language that is spoken on the streets, that speaks to how we convert values that we carry that are intangible to physical cash. So after that you have shown up, speak the language. What is the language of the street? You need to understand it. You need to understand how negotiation is done. You need to understand how problem solving is brought to the table. You must be that valuable in the marketplace that somebody wants to release money to you in exchange for the value that you're presenting in the marketplace. So you must be, I know that word is now long overdue, or it's been a word that I've known for some years now, to say that you must be street smart. Yeah. So back to the conversation that I had online with my friend Taddy, and then some other people began to put into it, to say that things around Wall Street, Broad Street, and then the real streets, which is the main street. You must understand the language that is spoken on the main streets. That is how to position yourself for more. You must know the language. You must understand the language. You must understand cash flow. You must understand the flow of money. You must understand budgeting. You must understand what it means to buy and to sell. You must understand profit making. You must understand dollar cost averaging. You must understand what it is to to buy here and sell there. I'm trying to play it down at the very basic level. You must understand how it is in the property industry or in the real estate industry, how it is that you first appreciation. You must understand the language of the streets. How do I buy? How do I sell? How do I make merging? What is it that speaks for financial statements? How does a financial statement looks like? A while back, I was speaking on one of my channels, on one of my clubs on Clubhouse, and we're talking about how to be the CFO of your life. You must understand the language that is spoken on the main streets. They don't say bless you on the main streets. I'm sorry. They don't say bless you. They don't say you are blessed. They don't say praise the Lord on the main street. No, that's not what they say there. You go to the main streets having to understand the language that is spoken on the main streets, the streets where money is exchanged for value. And so you must understand the language of business. You must understand the language of business. How do people communicate in this? And then the different lines of businesses that we have speaks for what is accepted as the legal tender, or what is accepted as the mother tongue in that sphere of business. So when you're into agriculture, there are some things that there are some basic syntaxes, there are some basic semantics that you must be able to bring to the table for a customer to understand, for an investor to understand. So you should be able, for you to position yourself for more, you should understand the language of your craft. You must understand the language of your craft. And conclusively tonight, if I would play it further down, I took it up a little bit and I'm bringing it further down so that I can close tonight. For the man who says that I'm not a businessman, for the woman who says that I'm not a businessman, but then I know that cash flow applies to every sphere of life. Yes, I agree with you. For the woman who says that I'm a 9-to-5er, I'm a person who has a job, or who probably has, by the way, business. I think that everybody is a businessman or a businesswoman, regardless of where you work, who you work for, what you sell, and what you do not sell. But then, for those who probably are saying that, how do I allocate? How do I control the flow of money? The very basic thing I'd like to conclude with tonight, except if my friend would like to ask me further questions, but then what I would like to conclude with tonight is to say that people don't grow big. People don't grow big by just becoming big. People grow big by managing well at the position where they are. You manage well to grow big. You don't grow big to manage well. You manage well to grow big. You don't grow big to manage well. And that's because I came up with that to say, because I have heard people say that you just allow the money come and I'll come and see what I'm going to do with the money. Oh no, the money ain't going to come that way. The money won't come that way. You need to be able to manage well so you can grow big, because it is from the little that you've got that you're able to manage well, that you see the further flow of cash into your business, into your life, and then you can become more. So friends, in summary, I have said that for you to position for more, develop mental capabilities to hold more. Yes, your mind must be robust enough to accommodate some things. Whatsoever cash you cannot hold in your mind, I can tell you it won't flow into your hands. Whatsoever it is that you cannot retain in your mental faculties, if it's too big for your mind to think about them, it's too big for your hand to hold them. I used to think that these things are motivational speakings, but then I have seen that these things are real. These things are real. Not to be boastful or prideful. I've been able to handle some decent amounts, and I'm in control of some decent figures and the likes. And I will tell you that these things come to play. They come to play a great deal. That your mind is fruitful enough to hold some figures. I remember back in the days, some 6-7 years ago, interacting with my friend. I remember he taught me what is called psychological wallets. Yes, he told me what is called psychological wallets. If your psychological wallet is not robust enough to hold some things, your physical wallet will not be able to hold them. It's pretty simple. It's pretty simple. And then moving away from that, you must go further to showing up in the marketplace, and then you must understand the language of the streets. You must understand the language of the streets. They don't say bless you there. They don't speak in tongue there sometimes. They say the way it is there. I hope this helps tonight, friend. I hope this helps tonight.
Wow. Awesome, man. It's been hot right here in this studio. It's been hot right here in the studio, picking up a lot of wisdom from my wonderful friend, allocating resources, control, and all of that. And it's very massive. You spoke about courage, how courage plays, a very critical role in being able. I want to ask you a question. I've known you for going to a decade now. And I want to say that you wrote a particular book called From Penny to Plenty. Can you tell us in a short while how you were able to, with all that you have shared? And the reason why we choose this topic today is because I know you are someone that has been able to be able to go on that journey, and you're still there, but you've been able to go on a journey that has helped you to transit from just being an employee to an employer of labor, and then creating businesses, being able to help all the businesses and all of that. And so I know one of the books you have written is called Penny to Plenty. So I just wanted to give us a little bit of light on that journey leading to writing of that book.
Great. Thank you. And by the way, I that little book is actually a book like available. Is more or less like a report. It's available for free online. If you go to my Instagram handle and go to the bio on my Instagram, and you're able to download, you should be able to download.
Please, my brother, can you say that again, please? Can you say that again? Yes.
So to get a free copy of that book, go to my Instagram handle. It's a little book. It's a little write-up about the flow of money and moving from one side of the divide to the other side of the divide. Go to my Instagram handle, VHF Official. The link in my bio will help you to download a free copy of that. Yeah. So how did I move? One of the things that speaks to my moving.
Yeah, tell us about it in just a little way, and so that we can just bring on that.
Great.
For aware of that journey, and so it's awesome. So tell us more about it and how they can help people to also position themselves.
Yeah, I hope I'm still on. Okay, great. So yeah. So how did I move? How did I transit?
Yes. How do you transit?
Yes. There's a little of echo coming from your head.
Can you hear me now? How do you transit from where? How do you transit from plenty?
I can hear you. Yeah, I can hear you.
We would like to get a clip of that and how we can help our people today.
Great.
Can you hear me?
Great. Yes, I can hear you. Yes, I can hear you.
Yes, I can hear you.
All right.
So,
but let me just dive into that very briefly. At some point, I was tired of when I asked people how they got to becoming wealthy, or how they got to where they are right now, and I hear stuff like, "Oh, na God," or stuff like, "Oh, my brother, it was God." I was just tired because there were no templates. I honestly couldn't place my hands on saying that this is a template that speaks to how you move from point 1 to point 2, or you move from point A to point B and the likes of it. And then I decided to go on a search. I decided to go on the journey to say that there has to be a template. We should be able to leave something for people coming behind. We should be able to leave something for people coming behind us. And I remember that in the publicity of this meeting tonight, my friend did write about the essence of fatherhood, to be able to leave things for people coming from behind and the likes of it. And so that whole thing got into my mind to say that we need to be able to showcase a template, a workable template. And so that little write-up in terms of Penny to Plenty is actually practical things that I did from step 1 to step 2 and up onto the level that we are moving into. So how did I journey? How did I transit? Nothing special. At the very basic level. I began to look for the knowledge that speaks for moving from point A to point B. What step do I take? What practical thing do I need to do? Do I need to earn more? That was the season I got to know that income is the principal ingredient to any form of financial success. So what did I do? I went looking for more ways to generate income. I went for more ways to generate income. I had one source of income. I had to look for more. Because money has to flow. And the more channels I had for money to flow in my direction, the better it is for me, the faster it is for me to actually get to the financial position I'd like to get to. So I learned the first thing that I did was to go look for more sources of income. I didn't stop there. I went further to cutting down my standard of living. Yeah, a lot of us have raised the standard so high, and that's one of the reasons why we are so poor. A lot of us do not even have standards at all. That's why we have remained at the position that we are. So I had to sit down to define what a standard is for me. I had to sit down to say that how do I maintain a standard? How do I cut down a standard? How do I prune a standard? How do I make it look better? How do I go from one state to the other and to the next level? And so I had to sit down to embrace the word discipline. I had to sit down to embrace the word discipline. And so what was discipline for me? In the process, I got to know that the word emergency exists not for just for it, not for it to just for us to put letters together. No, the word emergency exists so that we can manage risk. The word emergency exists because the word risk exists, and when risk exists, there is what is called risk management. So I sat down to define what an emergency is for me. And that was the season that I said to myself, nobody defines my emergency. I have the ultimate right to define my emergency. Nothing is an emergency for me except two things. As first, I don't inherit emergencies. If it's your emergencies, if it's your emergency, it is not my emergency. So if I must help you to attend to emergency, it must first appeal to what I call an emergency. To two things for now. The more we grow, the better we become. The more we grow, the more we know. But two things for now makes for emergencies for me. If nobody is going to die, it's not an emergency. If nobody is going to go to jail, it is not an emergency. So school fees is not an emergency. As a matter of fact, anything that you can plan for is not an emergency for me. Your wife delivering of a baby, you can plan for it because you've got 9 months to carry a baby to full time. So you can plan for it. It cannot be an emergency. School fees, for those who are parents in this part of Africa who still pay school fees, you've got 3 months to plan for it. Sometimes you've got 4 months to plan for it. So anything at all that you can plan for cannot be an emergency. So I sat down to say to myself, what is an emergency? And then I sat down to define what risk management is and was for me, and will still be for me. I'm still reviewing, I'm still assessing risk, I'm still mitigating risk. And so these things actually set the stage and the tone for me to be able to sit down to say that I had to discipline myself, I had to cut down expenses while I'm making more. So I began to live on less than I earn. And then the more the gap between what I earn or what comes in as a flow of money and what I spend, the wider that gap, the closer I am to financial freedom. The wider the gap between what you spend and what you earn, the closer you are to financial freedom. Oh, let me say that. That could be good. That could be a good tweet. Let me say that again. The wider the gap between what you earn and what you spend, the closer you are to financial freedom. The wider the gap between what you earn and what you spend, the closer you are to financial freedom. I had to sit down to agree to that. I had to sit down to understand that and to embrace that, to say that I must consciously widen the gap between what I spend and what I earn. And the moment I began to practice that, I began to see great leap. I began to see great advantages. I began to see great leverages. I began to see better lights. And that's one thing that speaks for positioning. You see better. When you stand in a better place, you see better. When you stand in a better place, you see better. And so these are some of the nuggets here and there that speaks to what I have put in that few pages of a report that is called From Penny to Plenty. I hope that helps tonight, my friend. I hope that helps tonight.
And that is, I'm already looking at. I have a program this year called the Real Estate Cashflow Boot Camp. It's a program for about 200 people. 100 to 200 people are going to show up in the program. They're not paying a huge amount of money. I think they're registering for it, paying about 250K to spend about 3 days with me on a boot camp, learning how to create cash flow from real estate. And I'm already seeing the penny to plenty model that you are going to come share with people in the boot camp. The truth is you have really said a lot. One of my recap today is that don't just know, also learn to show. All right. And I wrote in my notes from your wisdom today. I wrote in my note from your wisdom today that show what you know. Show what you know. And I also wrote in my note, know it, don't slow down. Rise up and show it.
Yes, sir.
So most of the time, a lot of time, people don't understand these things. And one of the things you said today also that really stay with me is that wisdom comes from action, not just from mere expressions. So people time in our culture talk a lot but do nothing. And so like today, people have heard, people have listened, people have heard things. But I say this, that you're not going to be liberated by what you hear. You are going to be liberated by what you do with what you hear. So hearing begins, but it doesn't end in hearing. You must do it. You must apply it. So in closing, one of the things, I want to ask you one more question, but before I say that, one of the things I've learned is the fact that wisdom is in 4 categories. Number 1, wisdom begins with ignorance. That means absence of truth. That means you have to know that ignorance is a form of wisdom. The moment a man acknowledges that he's not wise, his ignorance, he has begun to get wise. You see, because the truly ignorant people don't know they're ignorant. By the way, they show arrogance in their ignorance. So the day you realize that you are ignorant, wisdom has begun. So I say that the first stage of wisdom is ignorance, which is absence of truth. The second stage of wisdom is knowledge, which is accumulation of truth. The third stage of wisdom is understanding, which is assimilation of truth. And the fourth stage of wisdom, it's wisdom itself, which is application of truth. In other words, the fact that you have accumulated truth does not mean you have applied the truth or you have assimilated it. So some people will need to listen to this again and again. If you're watching us today, wherever you are in the world, you need to go to VHF official on Instagram. Number 1, follow him on Instagram. Number 2, go to the bio and download the book From Penny to Plenty. Because I tell you, this is one man that everything that he writes about, everything that he posts, I read it because he's a man of wisdom. Now, lastly, there is a program that you run. There is an accountability program that you run. How can people be part of this program? Is it open now, or is it a particular time when the program? I would like you to just tell us how people can sign up for that program and how can they sign up for it.
Thank you so much. So, I run a program called Financial Freedom Accountability Program. It's it's a place where I sit down with people and I hold them by the hand practically in their personal finances. I haven't had any this year because my schedule has really been tight. As a matter of fact, I don't see myself doing any from now till August because my calendar is packed. But I have created a group for mentees for some of my proteges to be able to, so that I have encounters with them to teach them some of the principles that I teach at the Financial Freedom Accountability Program. But I am hopeful that before the year runs out, another edition of the Financial Freedom Accountability Program comes up before the year runs out. What you need to do is just go. I'm most active on Instagram. Just go follow me on Instagram, and then you get the notification as soon as the new session is open. Financial Freedom Accountability Program is a place where you come and let me see, from the testimonials in the past, I've had reasons to coach people outside of Nigeria. I've had reasons to coach lots of people from different states in Nigeria, and I have heard of testimonials of how people are practically moved in a space of a short period. They practically move in their personal finances from where they were struggling to the places where they can boldly say that they are now on a journey to financial freedom. Yeah. So join me whenever I post that on Instagram, and you'll be able to apply for that. Yes.
All right, fantastic. Lastly, I want to ask, if you were starting all over again, on your journey, what is one thing or two things that you will have done differently?
One thing I will have done differently. Was to throw away religion. I will have thrown religion away.
How do you mean by that? So how do you mean by that for the sake of clarity? How do you mean by throwing the religion away?
For the sake of clarity, I will have thrown religion away because our stories are different. People come from different backgrounds. From the background that I had, I would say that one thing I will have done was to go for practicality, to say that I wouldn't pray for money. If I would have started again, I would not pray for money. I will not fast because I needed money. I will not go to church because I needed money. I could do all those things, but I will never attach them to money. One thing I would have done was to go for the knowledge that I can apply the moment I am embracing them. Just very practical, as simple as that. I have seen tremendous leap in my journey because I embraced the right knowledge and I did dare to do the knowledge that I've acquired. So one thing I will do is to put aside all my religious knowledge and then go for the knowledge that speaks to getting money and using money.
Wow, this is awesome. This is very table shaking tonight with this perspective of yours. Leaving our crazy religious beliefs behind, because this is one thing that has held a lot of people bound. A lot of people still pray about money, and I say jokingly, like I wrote in my book, Close or Lose, that commissions don't fall from heaven, it comes from people. In other words, that means you need to understand. And one of the things we share today is about the language of the street, and I love that so much, because the truth of the matter is some people they don't live the hybrid life, which is you need to have the language of the spirit. Amazing, but this is it. The language of the spirit will not be substituted for the language of the street. So you need to have both, because both function in different roles. So if you don't develop the language of the street, you can be so spiritually intelligent and be earthly irrelevant. So many a time, that's what happened to a lot of people. And so you have put a lot of light on this today, and it's amazing. Hundreds and thousands of people are going to watch this over time. I just want to tell you, my friend, thank you so much for honoring this in the midst of all your shadow, in the midst of your activities. You still find time to make this happen. Even when we plan to ship this today because of Easter Sunday, you send one word to me. You say you are ready for this. Let's go ahead and do it. And that is a huge motivation for my team. And thank you very much, my brother. Like I always say, I honor you and I love you so much. Thank you very much for coming on the show today, Victor. I really appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Is out? All right. So Are we still here? So thank you very much, guys. We before we go today, I will go on a short break, and I will tell you what I have for you as an Easter gift, and then don't go away.
Do you know that you will get a brand new 70-inch smart UHD TV when you pay 10 million naira outright for the 500 square meter business plot in our PG estate at Baronje, Ikotun? But that's not all. You also get a fully paid dinner for two in a 5-star hotel right here in Lagos, a one-night stay in same 5-star hotel, plus complimentary breakfast. You don't believe me, right? Well, why not prove me wrong by taking me up on my offer? Call the numbers showing on your screen for further details and inquiries.
Eden Creek is a virgin land located near satellite town Lagos, raw and untapped. Eden Creek is a land surrounded by businesses and fully developed neighborhood. We are inviting you to come take your own share of this lucrative treasure. Buying Eden Creek by Whip Africa allows you to use it to either fund your living or as a place to live. With 1 million naira initial deposit, you can secure a plot right now. Yes, just drive from Jakonde Estate and you will be connected to an asset that can make you free. And with a 50% deposit, you can have your allocation to a land surrounded by full development. With 1 million naira deposit, you can reserve a slot today and begin your journey towards a lifestyle of wealth and abundance. Warning, this is a limited edition.
All right, thank you very much. What a lovely show tonight. My my friend has really shown up, today, and he shared an amazing stuff with us. And I wanted to go back today, being as Easter Sunday. Some people still have a public holiday tomorrow, and ruminate on what you've learned. Begin to look at how you can go on that stage of wisdom from just accumulation of knowledge of truth to the assimilation of truth. And one of the ways you assimilate truth is by thinking about what you have heard. Because by thinking about what you have heard again and again, it then becomes flesh, and then it becomes yours, and then you can use it. So, before we go today, I don't know if you have never read any of my book, if you have never read, I have a bundle for you. I call it the Easter Sunday bundle, which is a combination of 3 of my hard copy books. That is the Real Estate Cashflow Machine, the Money Code, the Close or Lose, and then I'm going to give you 2 other books, Shut Up and Collect the Money, and what's the called again? Stay Hungry, Go Starving. 5 book. I call it the Easter Sunday Freedom Bundle. Guess what? Because it's Sunday and it's only for tonight. It ends by 12 midnight today. I'm sorry, but this is it. For the bundle of all of those things, whatever you live in Nigeria, with a 12,000 naira, right now you can have all of these 5 books. By the way, these 5 books is 35K. You see, One of these books has made one person to create more than 100 million. Real estate cash flow machine. One of these books have helped people to make thousands and millions of naira. I'm going to give you these 5 books that can literally change your life. Remember what Victor said about embracing knowledge. These are the things that have worked for me. These are the things that have helped me to create my first 1 million at the age of 27 and a half or 28 years old. These are the things that have helped me to create billions of naira. Literally billions of naira in asset and cash flow. Guess what happened? I want to give it to you because it's Easter Sunday. This is it. For 12,000, you're going to have this gift of 40,000. And this is what happened. This 12,000 can help you to create hundreds of thousands and millions of naira if you do what I'm going to tell you. So all I need you to get this book today is to go to the number you're seeing on the screen and I say, I want this gift. It's going to end by 12 tonight. By 12 tonight, I'm sorry. By 11:59 tonight, it's going to be over. I can't do this. My accountant is going to sue me tomorrow morning if I find out. But this will happen, guys. I need to do this because it's Resurrection Sunday. So 5 books, Real Estate Cash Flow Machine, The Money Code, Close or Lose, Shut Up and Collect the Money, the e-version copy, and Stay Hungry, Go Starving, the e-version copy. I'm going to give you these 5 books of what about 40,000 naira that can help you to create hundreds of millions of naira if you practice what is written in it. This is a book written by billionaire to you. Guess what happened? You need to do it. Say, I want it in the comment section, and they're going to get you the details of the payment. You're going to send your address anywhere that you live in Nigeria. If you order this book right now, this is the best Easter gift you can ever have. And it's going to get to you in the next 7 days. If you live in Lagos, it's going to get to you before Friday. If you live outside of Lagos, it's going to get to you before 7 days. This is what happened. Literally, if you're living out of Lagos, this is more or less the money for the shipping you're paying because the book is quite heavy. So you're going to have 3 books, 3 hard copy books, 2 soft copy versions of my books that worth about 40,000 naira in cash. I'm going to give it to you for 12,000 naira. And this book can help you to create millions of naira if you put them to practice, because that's what it has done for all that I've read it. By the way, thousands, nothing less than 10,000 people have read some of my books, and this can literally change your life. Guys, this is a gift I have for you today. And don't forget what our major sponsor have for you. You can own a land in Satellite Town. You can own a land in a Kotum PG Estate, Lagos. You can also win amazing gift. That's what they're giving to you. Call it Live It Loud offer. This is what you can have. Guess what happened? I'm going to see you tomorrow. Because I'm going to show you from wherever I am. I'm going to show you how to create tests, how to make people hungry for what you sell. You would like to be in my Monday service, in my Monday morning training. I want to show you how to get people thirsty for what you offer. Because the truth of the matter is, don't sell to people, make them feel like buying it. The moment you can make people feel like buying from you, you're going to buy. People buy what they feel like buying. People do what they feel like doing. So this is what happened. You have not learned how to make them do it. I'm going to show you the 3 steps, the 3 process that can make people hungry for more of what you sell tomorrow. But remember, if you want to change your life, you have to change your life. This is Static Cash, and I'm so happy to have you with us today. I will see you tomorrow. This is Static Cash. Peace, love, and cash flow. Bye for now.